what we talk about frequently here at Siege, which is the content side. We do work with a lot of e-commerce companies. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on how that specifically ties into e-commerce. One of the things that first came out and a lot of SEOs I'm sure see is on these company pages, on the category pages, you'll see a lot of bad copy buried on those category pages. It's clearly only there for SEO. No user is ever using many of those or very frequently. But you've suggested some better ways to do that. What are some ways people can improve that category page content?
Yes, I guess that there was a time that like many of us in SEO realized that in order to better rank category pages, and category pages, as we all know, as are some of those pages that actually are meant to rank for still very highly popular queries, already very commercially oriented at the mid of the funnel type of stage. So these are very high valuable for non-branded queries to attract potential clients. And of course, if you only have categories with a list of products, even if it is a big list, at the end of the day, this will have like very thin content, very poor content. At the same time, whenever an SEO mentions the need of adding or featuring more content in these type of pages in order to be more meaningful, more relevant, more descriptive. There's this type of I feel like a little bit of a fear of adding too much content because the goal is to showcase the product in order to increase conversions, right? So there's always this back and forth of how you can add content without taking the let's say the highlight or the attention from the product. And so beyond this, that of course, that is why we need to work very, very well with UX designers and to integrate content within the website or the different type of pages template in a way that actually makes sense at that stage of the journey. Let's say like the workaround that is very, very popular or has been very, very popular is to, okay, very straightforward. We will add the content at the bottom. It will be like whatever content, just let's add keywords, like let's add information. At the end of the day, we end up seeing a lot of like informational type of information about the products, like what are the products. And I guess that if the users are already there, they already know what the products are. And
Yeah, I would think.
yeah,
Yeah.
indeed. And more about that, it will be on the other hand more helpful to understand what are the different type of products and what are the best products for each use case, or the pros and cons of the different type of products that are listed in that page, for example, so they have better criteria to select them or filter the ones that are actually more useful for their particular need. So rather than doing this, like we have gotten for a long time, I think, away with the fact of let's add some bit of product to add relevance, right, in some way. But of course, we know that Google is much more sophisticated. Google can understand better the intent, and it will identify that a lot of this content is crap, is not useful, really. It's not aligned with the intent of the user at the stage of the journey. Also, it's content that, of course, I understand why website owners won't want to showcase at the top because it's not good for users. So my point here is that there's
Right.
definitely a way to align the content that makes sense to actually communicate and showcase at this stage of the journey that will support the decision making process of the potential customer at that stage of the journey, that will also add relevance to the page and will help Google also to sort out of what the page is about and which are the queries that the page should be ranking for better, right? But in order to do that, that is a problem. SEO cannot be an afterthought, cannot be, oh, let's enable and include at the below all the product listing and let's just add text there. No, the best listings are those that embed and integrate the content in a way that actually supports the journey within the content listing. And yes, I understand that for many people who potentially will tend to like use a WooCommerce template or a Shopify template, whatever, like they don't have necessarily much flexibility many times in these type of pages, but it's better to invest a little bit on the UX aligning with SEO best practices in order to make the most out of it. Also, a lot, I have to say, this has the opportunity, for example, to also make the most out of the content. For example, I love adding FAQs in this type of pages, in category pages or facets pages or top listings like this, or brand pages, clarifying the top doubts that users tend to have about this type of products that you're featuring there. So you're like it's like win-win type of scenario. You adding more content is becoming more relevant. It actually will help to solve the main doubts that users will have at that stage of the journey. So very simple way to do it. Also, it will allow you to add the FAQ page structure data, the schema markup in order to improve the way that your results look through search features in search results. So yes, it's sort of like aligning, let's say, all the type of configurations of best practices with the, let's say, with the actual marketing and the product itself and the UX itself of the website.